YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and I promise one of these days I'll get back to ball pythons, but not today, and that's your first hint. So behind me is our beautiful towel. For those of you guys who like the same kind of TV I do, this is green, but if it was blue, what would it say, Kurt? Oh, it would go, wanna get high? Somebody put in the comments what TV show that's from, where the blue towel always is asking to get high and also knows the beat to Funky Town. Anyway, it's not really about the towel. That's not what the video is about. The video is what's behind the towel. So we have filled our second display cage from TGR as we're working through getting all these filled, and I'm going to share each and every one of them with you. I promise to mix in some other videos in between that, but oh my God, it got quiet. Nope, didn't last. That noise right now, though, is coming from this snake, because we have Kali over there. So let's talk about what's behind here. I'm going to give you a few clues and give you a chance to guess, and then we'll do a big reveal next week. Now, we'll do it today. But first, let's see what's behind there. One, I want to tell you, I already did, it's not a ball python, right? Pretty cool. Did you go quiet? Nope. Two is, oh, I got to take a peek here. Oh, you're doing so good. It is not wild caught. So you know my girl Kali is wild caught. This is not wild caught. This was captive bred. It is also a morph, but not a morph that we've ever shown here in our reptile facility before. I've probably shown these on camera a time or two, but I've never kept one in the house. Even though I've owned some, they were always at the reptile shop. With that, it is a North American snake. Yeah. Its Latin begins with, its Latin initials would be C and A. And so you should be getting it by now, I do think. And I can also tell you this, it has the fastest muscles in the animal kingdom. So without further ado, well, I guess I should help you get a hint for the morph, huh? This particular morph, there are several different lines of it in this snake. It is recessive, but I'm pretty sure all known morphs in this actual snake are recessive. I've never heard of an incomplete dominant morph out there with it. It also is going to be one that it's a color morph. It's going to make the colors gorgeous by ripping parts out. That should be pretty much all you need to know to guess what this likely is. Without further ado, you ready, Kurt?
Yep.
So that can be the magician's trick. Wham! Full review, and I threw the keys on the floor. We'll find those in a second. But here we have our second TGR cage. Kali, knock that off. Filled with a much tamer, although you got some dirt on your scale from your previous cage. I pulled her out of our zoo. So some of the animals in the reptile zoo at Manhattan Reptile World are personally owned by myself and camera guy Kurt. This was one of them. So we brought our albino back here, and we replaced with one of the shop's albinos. She's kind of that tangerine colored albino, which is my favorite type. The colors really just explode on these guys. Now, if you look at her eye, though, it's not going to be that solid red. It does have a red pupil. It's kind of that just, I don't know what to call that color in there and other parts of it, but just gorgeous. So I really, really dig these. She did have a little bit of a pink belly when we put her in there, so I do think she is going into a shed cycle soon. I hope. I can't wait till when they shed. Their colors are amazing. So why do I like this line? You just get a better color along the back. Some albinos tend to be kind of just so muddled, you really lose the pattern. Here you don't. They get more of that orange along with the yellow and the white, which I just think is amazing. If you look really close, you can still see the rear eye stripe, which is white. Are you going to yawn at me? You should, since you just tried to bite me for the second time today. Tried for the second, not bit me ever. Never, ever, ever, ever. And what we've done in here is we've added a few things we had laying around. Now we probably will go and add more to these cages. We didn't really know what to expect till these cages arrived, and we filmed all of this in a very short time, so we haven't had a chance to get some of the things we probably will want long term. But I did want to start getting things in them to start sharing them with you because I just think they're so amazing. But I do want to show you a difference between a captive bred Crotalus atrox, which is a western diamondback, and a wild caught. Okay, these are both probably genetic morphs. We're hoping this one proves out. But this girl being in captivity her entire life, I don't know if you can see her tail right now, but it's not moving. She's just sitting, chill as could be, just kind of hanging out, not caring about the world. I can come up to her. She's going to check me out. If I did something she didn't like, she'd bite me. My face is right by hers. I can get a close inspection of everything. And she doesn't seem to care. Over here, This bitch is rattling constantly. Her mouth has some litter in it right now. It costs to be puffed out because she got a mouthful of that when she tried to bite us putting her in there. She's tried to bit the glass today once, and she actually had a go at my face while I was talking about that snake. But you can see the difference. She is not going to let us have that close friendly inspection. She's not going to let us get close. She's not going to kind of chill out. She's clearing the back of the cage as far away from me as she can be. This one's right up front. I mean, look at this. I can literally push on her. Look. See how nice that is? This is why some people get away with free handling. I still would never recommend it because it's always good until the day it isn't. Isn't that right, girly? And we don't ever want to have that day, do we, sweetheart? So, if you're going to get into keeping venomous, it's just one of those things to do. Kurt, we want to see if she'll eat in her new cage?
I don't think she will, no.
You don't think she will? I think she will. Should we try it?
You can, yeah.
Why don't we try that on Patreon? We'll make that the Patreon portion. So if you're not on Patreon, you should be, because we're going to try to feed this rattlesnake the first day she's in there. I think you'll do it. Kurt thinks you won't. So guys, we're going to hop up off of here now, slide over to Patreon, and give this snake a rat. Kurt, anything you want to add?
What type of heat do these cages have?
Okay, these cages have the, I think it's made by Reptile Basics. It's a heat. Yes. I can't read the brand of it. But what it is a radiant heat panel up top. So the 3-foot cages, when Eric builds those, he's going to run... Electronics. There's your brand. They're going to run a 40-watt heat panel up above. The big 6-foots that only have one heat panel like this one here, you can see how much bigger it is. It's going to be an 80-watt. So it's going to put out twice as much heat. What that's going to do, you can see the thermostat cord hanging down there. It's going to make sure everything's kind of at a nice ambient. These are a little colder than I want right now. That's because we've had them open, putting these animals in. Yeah, it was 2 videos for you. It was 1 day for us. So that lets the air temperature out really, really fast and cools everything down. But they will get the ambient temp up to where we want it. Also kind of provide some over the top kind of spot heat. So the snake can warm up if it wants. It can get to where it's a little cooler if it wants and maintain an overall ambient. Westerns have a very, very wide temperature that they can be in, which is something kind of cool about them. I mean, they're going to function pretty well from about 75 degrees up to about 90. They're going to get a little overheated after that and go seek some shelter and cool down. So this is going to push that air temperature to about 90, 95, and it's going to drop at night, making the ground temperature a little bit cooler than that, and also giving it where it can warm up if it wants to bask, and it can go cool off if it needs to, so it gets the best of both worlds in this cage. Don't you, sweetie? Because we love you. But this girl also doesn't have a name. Of course, our red is Kali. Our albino is just our albino. So feel free to give us some suggestions for names. Remember, it's got to fit our theme, and we'll see what we can do. I'm sure we'll find one for her. All right, anything else you want to add, Kurt?
No.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.